I feel like it's important to be comfortable with being alone because you might run into some really good people, but you have not done the work yet and you have not spent enough time by yourself yet to realize that these people are here for you and they are of value and you might want to keep them around for a long time. Sometimes if we don't handle those inside things, we end up hurting people that ain't hurt us. Hey y'all, it's Kiki. Welcome back to my channel. For a very long time, I didn't know exactly that this was this, but for a while, I was never ever a person who was comfortable with being alone. As a person who just recently, when I say recently, I mean within like the last 2, maybe 3 years. I want to say 2 years when I made it my mission to like isolate myself and just be away from people, but I still was very much had friends. So it wasn't until about 2022 when I realized like I needed to be absolutely alone because I was having a hard time being alone and being comfortable with my own company. So I just wanted to talk about how I went from always needing people to being okay with my own company, not really needing anybody around. Oh, I can't even tell you why I didn't want to be alone. I think the real reason was because like I didn't know what was going to happen the moment I ended up alone. For one, I used to think that people who were alone, that meant something was wrong with them. Mind you, I'm younger at the time, so I'm having a very young, immature mindset. But I really, really thought, let me sit up. But I really, really thought like, oh, if somebody is by themselves, they either one must be the problem, they can't make no friends, they can't get no man or get no woman, and that's just that. And that's totally not the case. Now that I'm older and I've been alone, I know that that's not the case. I know that being alone is much more. It's just much more deeper than just meaningless relationships, or being a terrible person at relationships. I thought that as long as I had people around me that proved that I was like worthy of something, worthy of like being loved, or that proved that I was a great friend, or it proved that I was a great girlfriend. It was almost to like prove to the outside world or to basically get some type of validation from people when none of that really even matters in the long run. But that's pretty much just the gist of why I had a hard time being alone myself. Fast forward, I pretty much enjoy being alone. I'm always alone because it's my favorite time. It's my favorite thing about, I guess, just time, my life, and just my personality, I guess you could say. When I decided to be alone, I was just like, okay, well, let me like make this time worth my while, I guess you could say. So I figured out like I really don't even know much about myself. Like I really don't even know the things that I really like and the things that I really want to do because majority of what I wanted was something that people told me I should want. It really wasn't what I wanted genuinely. So on top of me trying to learn the things that I wanted, and I wanted to learn the different how to break certain habits and how to, respond differently and to control my emotions and a number of other things. But that was pretty much my goal. And it was hard because like I said, I always had people around me and it was very, very hard to be alone. At times I felt like, oh my God, I'm so lonely. I'm never gonna have like nobody. And I felt like I was just gonna be lonely for a long time, right? But instead of looking at it as like, oh, I need to hurry up and find new people to um I guess accept who I am, it was very important for me to accept who I was first. On the first year, I had like a lot of different emotions and they weren't like good ones. But as time went on, I just realized like this is kind of like cool because when I think about it, I don't have to accommodate anybody. I don't need nobody's like opinion. I ain't got to wait for nobody. Like I ain't got to waste my time going places that I don't want to go just for the sake of friendship or the sake of like relationship. And I could just pretty much do what I want when I wanted to do it. And it gave me time, and being alone gave me time to really, like I said, learn about myself. But I learned so much. It wasn't just about the things that I wanted and didn't want. It was about learning my own personal triggers and my own traumas and my own personalities and the things that I deemed funny, the things that I, this of course dislike, the type of just a type of lifestyle that I really, really wanted to live for myself. It helped me to just go deep into that. But also, too, being alone also helped me to kind of bring my inner child back. to the surface and kind of like, do things that kind of made her excited. So I found myself going back into watching like different cartoons and like going shopping. I remember I went and bought like some teddy bears. I'm thinking about going to the Build a Bear workshop because I loved that as a kid. And I think I only got like one Build a Bear as a kid when I was growing up because they was kind of expensive. And we weren't going for that. But like just different things that I felt like were really just suppressed for a long time. I just felt them coming up after a while. I had to do the scary things by myself. I had to do the things that make me nervous by myself. I had to try new things by myself, go places by myself, because sometimes when you think you need people to do things, you kind of adopt, I'm sorry. You kind of adopt that core belief, and before you know it, you haven't made any decision or made any type of move by yourself in a very long time. And I think that's just a bit weird. I ain't gonna say it's dangerous, but it's just weird because it's like, what's gonna happen when them people like leave? Like, what are you gonna do then? Like, are you gonna just find somebody else to replace them with? I guess the best way that I felt that I got to really become comfortable with myself is I just faced everything that was scaring me head on. Like, I did not run from it because I just knew, like, if I was to run from it, it was just gonna follow me anyways. People talk about when you really get alone, all of those hidden emotions, those things that you push down, they start to rise to the surface because now you have no distraction. Nobody's here, you know, trying to pour different things into your head. Nobody's really distracting you from those feelings. So the moment you get by yourself, you ain't got no choice but to deal with them. But instead of me running from those and trying to find somebody else to help distract me from that, I was like, you know what? I'm just about to just go head into it. I don't care if I'm finna cry for the next 3 days. I don't care if I'm finna be sad for the rest of the night. I don't care. Like, I need to feel these things so then I can let these emotions pass and I can get to the next point in life. So I started journaling like crazy. I got so many journals, girl. I sound like Tokyo Tony. But no, I got so many journals, y'all. But I started journaling like crazy and I started really getting into like being extremely, extremely vulnerable and very honest about what it was I was feeling, what, a certain situation had me feeling like, and just no matter what the feeling was, no matter how embarrassing it felt or how scary it felt, or if it made me feel like I was weak or I was a punk or I was, wasting my breath, I still did it anyways because it was very healing and it was important for me to release that. That was the only way I felt like I could really become comfortable with being alone, is addressing all of those inner situations that need to be addressed and put to rest so I can move forward and have me a great old life and enjoy the people who are now in my life and not causing me any type of stress, pain, drama, etc. And that's another thing. I feel like it's important to be comfortable with being alone because sometimes you might run into some really good people, but you have not done the work yet, and you have not spent enough time by yourself yet to realize that these people are here for you and they are of value and you might want to keep them around for a long time. Sometimes if we don't handle those inside things, we end up hurting people that ain't hurt us. I heard somebody say, you sometimes you can bleed on people that did not even cut you. So I just feel like it's just very important to have that alone time. You don't have to be alone for a long, long time. Everybody's completely different. Some people are like, girl, I ain't had a bunch of friends or a man in a decade. And some people are like, oh, I just spent the first 1 year alone just to see if I could do it. And now I'm back out and I'm dating and I'm, going out, making friends, X, Y, and Z. Everybody's different. But I do feel like it's important to make sure that you go into that mode of just being by yourself, because if not, you don't want to ruin what could have been a good relationship, partnership, friendship, business, a relationship, or whatever the case is, because you had that inner wound that you have been distracted, from for so long, and it came up at the wrong time with the wrong person. And now, you probably done ruined that forever. So ain't no going back. So, and I know I done had a moment where I definitely have fumbled Some relationships and some friendships, I'm not gonna cap, I have fumbled some good friendships and good relationships because instead of me taking the time out to just fix what was going on with me, it's like I wanted everybody to be perfect and be one way, and if they weren't that way, it's like, get out my face, because I need you to be this way, because I don't need you mirroring to me what's wrong with me. I don't need you, basically showing me what it is I'm trying to run away from, because that's ultimately what people are anyways. People are mirrors. And I also want to let it be known, because I don't give a damn what nobody say. Being alone is not boring. People who have roommates or live with a group of people, sometimes they be confused about people who live by themselves. They're like, what do you do? Like, now that you live alone, what do you do? Bitch, I be in this bitch having concerts. Let me tell you, one thing that I have enjoyed about myself now that I have like spent a lot of time alone, when my inner child comes up, I let her take the wheel and take over. Girl, I'll be in here having concerts. I'll be in the kitchen cooking at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning because I'm grown and I got free will and nobody's here to stop me. Like, I literally, like, once you figure out that there's really no limitations, you can do whatever you want to do when you want to do it as often as you want to. It's very rare that you will be bored when you're alone. Like, you might just be laying in the bed scrolling, but you have very much options and things to do. But girl, it's just so much stuff that you can do. Being alone it's not all bad. And I wanted to make that very clear. It's not just an all bad experience, bro. Like, especially if you tap into your own creativity and you tap into your own imagination, you'll be surprised the things you decide to do when you're alone. Now that I have gotten past like all of those inner things that I needed to work on, now I got nothing but time and energy to try new things and learn new things. I can't sit here and say like it's all negative, but I can't sit here and say like it's all great. But I do have to acknowledge that all the great benefits and all the great healing, I guess you could say, properties um come out of being alone. You really, really get some clarity and some type of peace of mind in a different mindset when you are finally alone, because there's just nobody or nothing there distracting you or in your way. Excuse me, speaking of my inner child, y'all see Yasmin up there? Yeah. Yeah, and I need to go because I heard Target got the little baby versions too. I need to go get the baby versions, and I want all four. I don't want just one doll. I want all four girls. And I damn near want to kind of like start a collection. Fuck it, I'm starting a collection. I'm starting a Bratz collection, bitch, because I am the Bratz motherfucking queen. If you know, the video is over, by the way. But if you know me, especially as a child, I had Bratz everything. It was nothing I didn't have. The only thing I did not have was the phone that was made of lips, but my cousin had it, and she was older than me. So when she was done with it, she passed it down to me, and then I had it. But I had the Bratz everything, girl. So I think I want to get into like collecting Bratz dolls. I absolutely want to do that. But anyways, that is it for this video, y'all. I didn't hopefully it's not too long. It shouldn't be. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please leave your opinions and your thoughts down below on, being alone. If you are alone, if you're thinking about, finally isolating, or if you feel like it's time for you to like just be by yourself for a while, please don't forget to comment down below. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.